The MCU's multiverse journey is just beginning, and it's packed with powerful cosmic beings. Today on CBR, we tell you 10 secrets you didn't know about the MCU's cosmic entities. The Living Tribunal is one of the most mysterious entities in the Marvel Universe, and it's more powerful than you probably realize. While it's been hinted at in the MCU, especially with the brief mention in Doctor Strange and Avengers Endgame, it hasn't been fully explained yet. In the comics, the Living Tribunal is an omnipotent being who exists to maintain balance across the multiverse. Think of it like the cosmic referee, making sure that everything stays in check, no matter how insane or chaotic things get across countless dimensions. With power off the charts, the Tribunal is said to have the ability to judge entire realities. And if something in the multiverse threatens the stability of existence itself, the Living Tribunal can step in and make the ultimate call. If you thought Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet was bad, the Living Tribunal could wipe him or anyone else out in the blink of an eye. It's often depicted with three faces, each representing a different aspect of its judgment: equity, necessity, and vengeance, which makes it an even more fascinating entity. While the MCU has yet to dive fully into the Living Tribunal, it'll likely play a bigger role in the multiverse saga, especially as the stakes get higher. As more dimensions open up and new realities are explored, this cosmic powerhouse could be the one who steps in to keep everything from unraveling. Keep an eye out for the Tribunal in the future. It's definitely one of those characters who could totally flip the MCU on its head when the time comes. Here's a wild bit of trivia that might blow your mind. Eternity almost made an appearance in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Eternity?
Yeah, you heard that right. In early concepts for the movie, the embodiment of the entire universe was supposed to show up. However, the idea was eventually scrapped, and we never got to see this cosmic powerhouse in action. Instead, it only appeared as a silhouette to grant Gore his wish to bring his daughter back. For anyone who's not familiar, Eternity is a massive deal in the comics. Essentially, it is the physical manifestation of the universe itself controlling reality on a cosmic scale. That means this entity isn't just some alien or powerful god. Eternity is reality itself. Talk about high stakes. In the comics, Eternity has some insane abilities. It can manipulate time, space, and pretty much every force in existence. Imagine a character who has control over everything, and I mean everything, from the laws of physics to the very fabric of the multiverse. If this character had appeared, it would have raised the cosmic stakes of Love and Thunder even higher than they already were. The idea to include Eternity was dropped, but considering where the MCU is headed with the multiverse, I wouldn't be surprised if Eternity makes its way into a future phase. It's clear that with the multiverse saga in full swing, there are some huge universe-altering characters still waiting to be introduced, so keep your eyes peeled. Eternity might not be gone for good, and when it shows up, you can bet it's going to be mind-blowing. Galactus was actually teased in the Fantastic Four films long before his potential MCU debut, but here's where it gets a bit wild. When he finally appeared in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, 2007, he was a cloud of cosmic energy. Yep, you heard that right, a giant space cloud. Not the giant humanoid, armor-clad Galactus that comic fans were expecting. Now let's be real. This was a huge letdown for many fans. In the comics, Galactus is one of the most iconic and terrifying villains in the Marvel Universe. He's the devourer of worlds, a cosmic entity who's usually depicted as a massive humanoid figure, towering over planets and wearing this crazy helmet. So, when Rise of the Silver Surfer went the cloud route, it didn't sit too well with fans who were hoping to see the giant Galactus in all his glory. The film's portrayal was more of a mysterious cosmic force, which, while still intimidating in its own way, felt like a missed opportunity. What's crazy is that they were so close to getting it right. There were rumors and concept art floating around that included Galactus in his iconic form, but for whatever reason, the final decision was to go with the cloud. Of course, a lot of fans were disappointed. Now, with the multiverse expanding in the MCU, it's only a matter of time before the true giant armored Galactus makes his way into the fold. Fingers crossed. Let's talk about the Watcher. You know, those cosmic beings who just watch everything go down in the MCU and never ever intervene. These guys are a big deal, especially in What If, where we saw them basically observing the multiverse unfold in all its crazy alternate timelines. But here's the thing, even though they've sworn an oath of non-interference, that oath is constantly tested. In fact, in What If, the Watcher already got involved, getting in trouble with his peers for intervening. Before this, in What If, the Watcher, voiced by Jeffrey Wright, acted as this cosmic narrator, guiding us through different versions of our favorite characters and alternate scenarios. But with the multiverse unraveling and chaos spreading, the big question was, how long can the Watcher stay on the sidelines? The third season of the TV series showed just how little. In the comics, the Watcher has broken his oath a few times, usually when the fate of the multiverse or reality itself was at stake. As we continue to explore this wild, multiversal journey in the MCU, it seems pretty likely that the Watcher will be called upon to break that oath once again. With Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Loki paving the way for even more multiverse chaos, the Watcher could very well become a key player in the larger MCU saga. So get ready, we might see this cosmic observer again. Thanos' obsession with death was a huge part of his character in the comics, but we're not saying death as a concept. Instead, it's the personification of death herself, who's literally a living, breathing embodiment of mortality. Yep, in the comics, Thanos was completely infatuated with death, and that obsession was actually one of the main reasons he went after the Infinity Stones in the first place. He thought if he could wipe out half the universe's population, death would finally recognize him, and maybe, just maybe, fall in love with him. Creepy, right? Now, if you watched Avengers Infinity War or Endgame, you might have noticed that the personification of death wasn't actually featured. In the movies, Thanos' main motivation is to balance the universe by wiping out half of all life. That being said, Thanos' fascination with death was a big part of his arc in the comics. His unrequited love for her drove him to do some pretty insane things, like going to extreme lengths to collect the Infinity Stones because he thought this would prove his worth to her. In the movies, they shifted his motivations to something more about saving the universe, but if you're a comic fan, you know the darker, more twisted story behind his actions. Who knows? Now that Agatha all along introduced death, maybe she'll return and the movies will dive into that side of Thanos' character. While the Infinity Stones are super powerful in the MCU and comics, they're actually not the end-all be-all of cosmic power. Crazy, right? The stones might seem like the ultimate weapon when you've got them all in the palm of your hand, but in the larger Marvel universe, there are entities out there that can easily outclass them. Take the Celestials, for example. These giant, godlike beings have been around since the dawn of the universe, and their power goes way beyond the stones. They're responsible for creating life and manipulating entire galaxies, which puts them on a whole other level. And then there's the one above all, the supreme being of the Marvel multiverse, who's essentially the embodiment of everything. The one above all is so powerful that not even the Infinity Stones can touch it. It's basically the Marvel version of an ultimate creator deity, with the kind of cosmic power that makes the stones look like toys by comparison. So while Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet made for an epic villain, it's worth noting that the stones aren't invincible. Other more powerful cosmic forces in the Marvel universe could easily outmatch them. It's a cool reminder that the universe is huge and there's always something bigger out there. And with the MCU expanding into the multiverse, who knows what cosmic beings we might see in the future that could make the Infinity Stones look like just another tool in a bigger cosmic toolbox. Let's talk about the ultimate being in the Marvel universe, the one above all. If you thought Thanos or the Living Tribunal were powerful, wait until you hear about this cosmic powerhouse. The one above all is the supreme creator of the entire multiverse. This entity is considered to be the personification of everything in existence, from all dimensions to every tiny particle in the universe. It's so powerful that nothing, even the most formidable cosmic beings, can match its level of control and influence. In simple terms, the one above all is the top of the food chain in the Marvel multiverse. The Living Tribunal, who's one of the most powerful figures we've seen in the comics and hinted at in the MCU, actually answers to the one above all. This being is the ultimate creator, responsible for everything in the Marvel multiverse. It's essentially Marvel's version of an all-powerful, omnipresent, godlike entity. The one above all doesn't actively meddle in day-to-day events, much like the Living Tribunal or the Watchers. It exists in a state of perfection, overseeing everything without the need to get involved, but that doesn't mean it's just a background character. This entity holds the universe's balance in its hands. While the MCU has only hinted at the existence of the one above all, it's safe to say that it's a character we could see in future stories, especially as the multiverse keeps expanding. If Marvel ever decides to introduce this being, you can bet it's going to be a game changer. Let's talk about the Beyonder. one of the most mysterious and powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. This entity is so powerful that it doesn't even come from the multiverse. The Beyonder comes from outside the multiverse entirely, which already makes it one of the most mind-boggling characters in Marvel's cosmic roster. In the comics, it plays a huge role in the Secret Wars storyline, where it essentially becomes the puppet master behind some of the wildest cosmic events ever. So what makes the Beyonder so special? Well, it has reality warping abilities that are beyond anything most other Marvel characters could even dream of. The Beyonder can manipulate matter, energy, and even the laws of the universe itself. It has so much power that it once wiped out the entire Marvel multiverse on a whim, which is pretty insane when you think about it. And when it sets its sights on something, forget it. The Beyonder is unstoppable. Now, the cool part is that the Beyonder hasn't yet made an appearance in the MCU, but with the multiverse as a central theme in the MCU's current saga, there's a very good chance that this powerful being could show up as a future villain. Imagine a villain who can warp reality at will and is untouchable by any of the current MCU heroes. That could make for some seriously insane storytelling. While we don't know when or how the Beyonder will make an appearance, it's one of those characters that could shake things up in the MCU. Keep an eye out. This entity's got unimaginable power, and it could be the next big thing in Marvel. The Space Stone, or the Tesseract as it's known in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has always been one of the most powerful artifacts in the Marvel Universe. While most of us know it from its role in the MCU, being a tool for big bad guys like Loki and Thanos, there's a pretty cool backstory to it in the comics that doesn't really get touched on in the films. In the comics, the Space Stone is more than just a glowing cube. It's a living, sentient entity. Yeah, you heard that right. The Space Stone wasn't always just a powerful object that could open wormholes and warp reality. It was originally depicted as an entity with its own will and consciousness. In this form, it could communicate with its wielders, kind of like a super intelligent being trapped inside a cosmic gem. This sentience was a key part of its uniqueness, and the way it interacted with people who came into contact with it was way more dynamic than what we saw on screen. In the comics, the Space Stone has been involved in a lot of crazy cosmic events. It has its own unique personality, and even a will that often clashes with its wielders. Think about that for a second. You could hold the Space Stone and try to use its power, but the stone might have different ideas about how you should use it. That adds a whole new layer of danger and intrigue, especially considering the insane powers it holds. If the Space Stone didn't like you or your goals, it could very well turn on you, or worse, act independently, wreaking havoc on whoever tried to control it. Now, in the MCU, they sort of simplify it. The Tesseract is shown more as an object of power, something Thanos and the Avengers fight over, but it never shows any sign of being alive or sentient. It's still extremely powerful, but it's not quite as alive as it is in the comics. It's a bit of a missed opportunity, honestly. The idea of a sentient cosmic artifact, like the Space Stone, could have added a whole new layer of complexity to its role in the MCU. But hey, maybe they'll dive deeper into that concept in the future. For now, it's fun to know that in the comics, the Tesseract had a mind of its own and wasn't just a fancy glowing cube. The multiverse has become a major focal point in the MCU, and it's easy to see why. It's a massive, ever-expanding playground for all sorts of crazy cosmic beings. In the comics, these entities often clash across different realities, battling for control or to keep the balance in check. We've only scratched the surface in the MCU with films like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and the Loki series, which tease how deep this cosmic drama goes. The idea that multiple universes exist, each with its own set of rules, makes the multiverse a perfect battleground for cosmic forces. What's even crazier is that the cosmic entities, like the Celestials, the Living Tribunal, and even Galactus, are often the ones pulling the strings behind the scenes. They've been around since the beginning of time, maintaining or disrupting balance across the multiverse. And while we've seen some of them in the MCU, like Ego, who turned out to be a Celestial, and the brief appearance of a few others, there's so much more to explore. These entities are the hidden movers and shakers of the Marvel Universe, and with the multiverse opening up even more, the possibilities for future stories are endless. Who knows what cosmic threats and alliances we'll see as the MCU dives deeper into this mysterious and vast realm. As the multiverse keeps expanding in the MCU, these powerful cosmic entities are going to take center stage. They're shaping the future, and we're in for some wild stories ahead. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments.